Welcome to week 11, and we're going to get into some advanced features today. We're going to start out first. I need to show you how to work with axes and different planes. And to do so, first thing I want to do is I want to show you the difference between planes and how they come up with these names like XY, XZ, and YZ. What I did was I turned the visibility on these axes, and I'm hovering over my X. That right there is my X axis right now. This is my Y axis, and my Z axis is running up and down here. Now, it was always easily understood, and after you know what your axes are, it's easy to find out what the plane name is. And to do that is just think of a piece of paper, alright? Think of a piece of paper that's laying flat, alright? And you have two axes that is holding it up. That's where you get your name. There's only two axes that can be holding up that plane. Okay, you can't have multiple. You can only have two. And what's actually that two axes that are holding that plane up is where you get the name. And let's go a little further. YZ, okay. If you look, this one right here was the Y, and then this one was the Z. See how that plane is laying right on top of that YZ? Just like a piece of paper laying on top of those two different axis lines, and they're holding it up. XZ, same thing. This was my X, this is my Z. That's how they get the name YZ, XZ, and the last one is XY. It's the most popular one we use, XY plane. It's just the standard for most. And of course, one was the X. That one's the X coming across from side to side of the screen. And there's your Y going from south to north. Okay? And again, that is laying flat. So that's how we come up with that. But all of that aside, I want to go ahead and show you some advanced features. We have a sweep, we've got a cool, we've got a revolve, and a loft I want to show you. First thing I want to get into is with these planes, and I'll go ahead and I'll turn the visibility off of these two. But let's start with loft. And again, you got to be able to use your work planes. So I want to come in here and I want to make myself a work plane. Or first I want to give myself a base to start with. I want to use my XY plane. I want to turn it on, the visibility on. So I've got this plane right there. And let's say I need to go up 3 inches and put myself another plane. All you have to do is come over here, click on plane, offset, and right here's your offset from plane. I'll catch it, and it'll ask me how much I want to offset it. I'm going to put 3. And it put this plane distance exactly the same plane 3 inches apart. Okay? And let's say, for instance, I want to put one right in the dead center, 1.5 inches from the base plane here. All I have to do is come up here, and there's a tool for that. And it's called mid-plane between two parallel planes. Click this one, and I'll click this one. And I got a middle one. It's identically, perfectly in the middle. So now, I'm going to do a new sketch. And I want to draw something on the bottom here. We'll start out with, let's just draw a circle. Starting out with a circle. And we'll make it a 0.625, something real simple. Okay. Now I hit finish sketch. Alright, see how that sketch is on that plane? Well, I got to make another sketch. So far up, we're going to make us another sketch. And we can make it a rectangle. And to get this, and another cool thing I wanted to show you is, like, I'm on this plane right now working on it, the sketch. You see how the graph grid is going through that plane because I've actually made my sketch on that plane. You can do project geometry, and he'll bring whatever geometry is on this work plane to that. You see that? It's really cool. But I want to use that projected geometry, and I want to draw me a rectangle in here. Perfect rectangle. Just like that. And then I'll get rid of that I brought in. Okay? Finish my sketch. And then I want to go up here and we'll draw something, and I want to do a new sketch on it. And I'm just going to, I'll do a polygon. Let's do a 6-sided polygon. And I'm just going to put that in there, just eyeball it. Now you can see I've got 3 different planes, and these sketches are on 3 different levels, okay? They're on 3 different planes. So to use Loft, all you're going to do is loft this image to this, and loft this image to this, and what it does, and it'll make a shape. It'll blend shapes in. It's pretty cool. I'll show you. Come up here to Loft. It's in your 3D model, Loft. You're going to catch this one. You're going to catch this one. And then you will come up here and catch. Give it time to think here. And then you're going to catch this one. See how it makes it, starts out round, and then it catches that square. So okay on that. And there it is. It's pretty neat, and you can see how this one started out round, and it blends them all together. Now again, you can change things. You can actually move and make stuff curve. Go in here in this work plane right there. Let's say I want to edit this sketch right there. Watch what I can do. I can actually take and I can move it a little bit. I can just change it dimension wise, or I can actually move it out of its spot. You can see how it automatically adjusts to it. It's really, really cool. That's your loft. You can also loft between just two different planes. You don't have to have 3, and you can do as many as you want, unlimited planes to make your object. All right, the next thing I want to show you is Revolve, and it's something we've done in the past. And we're just going to move that to the side. Now, Revolve is you're drawing something that's symmetrical. And what I mean is symmetrical is both sides are the same. So you only have to draw one side and then revolve it. It's a really cool tool to use. Say this part starts out like this, got a hole through it maybe. I'm just drawing something in here like that. All we have to do is figure out what our axis line is, and just if you're just wanting to revolve it around itself right there, just do revolve. It has to be completely closed. Your axis could be this line right here, and it just swings it around it. And there it is, symmetrically swung around. It's kind of crazy shape. But you can do more stuff with it as well. I mean, you can, if we edit that feature, you could go in there and you don't have to do the full, you could do angle like 90 degrees or something like that. It doesn't rotate it all the way around the whole 360. Now, that takes care of the basics of Loft and Revolve. And also Revolve, you can do more with Revolve than what we just did. I mean, you can cut with it. You can make something cut out of internally, cut something out. It's really cool. So you get in there and kind of toy around with that and work with it. Another one is cool. Again, we'll go to the XY plane and make us a new sketch up here. Let's say we're going to make us a spring, and we'll just eyeball something like that. You have to have an axis line. I'm just going to put me a line up and down. You can use the your axes that's already on there, but I'm just going to make myself one, and then I'm going to do a finish sketch. And all you have to do is just hit cool. This is my cool, and this is my axis. And now you kind of have to go up here to cool size, and you got different things. You got what's called pitch and revolution. Now what pitch means is from one spot on something to the next spot on the other part. Let's put that a little bit more easy to understand. Let's talk about threads on a boat. Okay, each thread they have what's called a pitch, and that's the distance between one point on that thread, on the same point on that thread, to the next point on the same thread. Okay? So that's what your pitch is. That's the distance between. So like on this spring that I'm going to make, it's going to be the distance between one coil to the adjacent coil, and you're measuring it from the same spot. Okay? So if you got pitch and revolution, revolutions how many times you want it to go around. Say you want to go, let's do 10 revolutions, and we want it pitched at 0.25. Okay? So I hit OK on that. And it's thinking about it. Okay. For some reason it couldn't do that, so let's try it again. Profile's picked. The axis is picked. Cool size. Maybe that pitch is just too close together. Let's get the pitch out a little bit further away from it. And there it was. Okay? So, if you go back and look at the coil, let's go edit to the feature and try to remember exactly what we had. We done 1-inch pitch and 10 revolutions, okay? And that's what you're getting. That's 1 inch from this point to this point, exactly 1 inch, and it's 10 revolutions. You can change that. And there's other features on this coil as well. You've got pitch and revolution. You got revolution and height. Revolution, maybe you want to do 5 revolutions and you want it to fit within a certain height, maybe so many inches. Then you got pitch and height, and you got a spiral. You also have what's called a cool end. You can have them flat or just a natural spring. And flat is like, if you're thinking about it, the spring is being developed, but then the ends they flatten off so that they can be flat, 2 flat surfaces. So I hit OK on that, and you're going to see that. Can't really tell it right there, but if I turn it like this, you see now how that turned out flat. You know how this is going at an angle, but that last one flat. It went flat. That's what they're talking about. Alright, there's some advanced little methods that you can use, and I want you to get on there and toy around with these, and you can really get into some neat things. Oh, by the way, we also got one more thing. We got what's called a sweep. And I'll show you how to do a sweep. Sweep is pretty easy. All you have to do is we got to start ourselves out a new plane, new sketch. Okay. The profile, and let's say it's just a basic circle, something like that. Okay. That's my profile, and I want that profile to follow. Maybe it's I don't know, maybe it's some type of pipe system that you're drawing out. What you have to do is you got to get your work plane that goes right through the center of this. And what I want to do is, let's see what the closest work plane is to that one. That right there is the work plane that I want for this to be able to work off that. So all thing I want to do is hit plane, click on that, and then come over here and click on that point right there. And you see what I did? I hit plane, I chose that plane that looked right. It was going the same exact direction, perpendicular to my profile that I drawed. And then I just click the center of it and it put it right in the center for me, and that's where it should be. Let's make sure it's in the center. Just like that. Do new sketch. And okay, there it is. I want to draw, and make sure to project geometry. I want to project that in there, and then I want to do a line. Go right off this point here, come down, come over so much. I mean, you could be drawing an exhaust for a car. You could use that, or making a piping system. And then what you have to do is you just gotta make sure that that round thing's coming through there, that it can make the turn. And I bet it can't, because we'll have to work on it, because where it's larger, I'll show you that. See where that's larger and it's coming back, it might not be able to make that curve. So we'll have to put a big fillet in here. And that probably would work there, but I don't think it'll work here. Just like that. Now, if you'll notice, my line is coming all the way up to that point, and I would pick this as my profile, the round part, and this is the path I want it to follow. So all you got to do is hit finish sketch and hit your sweep. That's my profile right there, and my path is this right here. And we'll hit OK on that. And there might be an instance, and see, it couldn't do it because this shape couldn't turn exactly how that I wanted it to turn. So what I'd have to do is I'd have to go back in here and edit that sketch, not that sketch, but this sketch. I have to finish and return. Go back up there to my profile that I just made up there earlier, and I need to make that a little smaller. And we'll make it like, we'll try 3. Finish the sketch. So now it is smaller. Let's see if it'll work. So there might be something going on. Right there's my problem. There's my problem. And I was kind of worried about that. So what I want to do is I want to go back in here, and you got to watch yourself when you're doing this for stuff that happens like that. So I'm going to delete that part of it out. Delete that part. And just for our purposes, I'll go ahead and I'll show that to you. But all you have to do now is go in there, and then you do the sweep. You catch your profile, and then your path. It'll do it this time. See how it follows that? And you just got to watch out, because, you know, it's going to do it realistically, and if it doesn't have enough room to bend, it's going to throw up an error on you. So you kind of got to watch out for that. So just hit OK on that. Boom. And then there you go. And then let's say if it was going to be a piece of pipe, you could always come up here and hit your shell button. And I want to remove this face. I want to remove this face. And we'll make it about 0.1 be fine. Just hit OK. And what it does is it just hollows it out and leaves you a 0.1 shell all the way around it. You can see that right there. It's pretty cool. But get in there and use those and toy around with them this week. You got a really cool project you're going to do. It's actually got a Loft command in it that you got to do. You've got I think you have a Revolve in there as well as a sweep, and you'll shell in this one as what in this next project. So enjoy. If you have any problem or question, just please let me know.